Hello, strong people, and welcome back to my page. I'm your kettlebell coach, Emma, and thank you so much for joining me today. Right now, we are going to go through part 2 of an advanced kettlebell complex. The last video, linked here, was part 1, and you learned how to do a single arm hang clean into a forward lunge. Now that's the beginning of the complex. Today we are going to learn how to do the Viking salute and single arm swing. I will say I do expect you to already know how to do the Turkish Get-up, pressing overhead, and the kettlebell swing. So if any of those are things you don't know how to do, check out the videos where I give a detailed tutorial for how to get into them, and then maybe revisit this on another day. But we are going to be going through all of these exercises to help prepare our bodies for the full complex, which we will do at the end of the video today. Now, I hope that you already did video 1. If you haven't, go and do that today, and then tomorrow do this video. Or if you did it last week, you can just jump in today, but I will ask that you have the muscle memory of the hang clean really fresh. So maybe even practice a few hang cleans today. Either way, we'll be getting going in just a minute, but before we do, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my page to make sure you get all future updates. Also, I am coming out with a She Beast Power program at the end of February. Now this is a program that's intermediate. It assumes you know how to do the swing, clean, and Turkish Get-up, much like this video does, but we get into that technique in detail, and it's a strength, power, and endurance program. We focus on performance goals, and it is much more intense than my original She Beast program. It puts all those skills you already learned to use to get really amazing workouts. So I really hope you choose to sign up for that, and make sure you join the waitlist so you get the very first access as well as a special discount. Now, before we get going, take a look at the entire complex just to see what we're working towards, and then we'll get into it.
Stacked. You can whisper behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now.
Today's workout is going to involve a lot of glute and overhead work. So to prepare for that, we are going to do some weighted shin boxes, and then we'll get into our Turkish get-ups with a press. Today's workout, much like video 1, is in fact follow along, so feel free to do it in real time with me. I am going to be going through the entire workout with you today. So we're gonna come down and sit on the floor. You're going to have a lightweight kettlebell positioned between your legs, ready to go. Now you can go ahead and clean that bell up into a goblet rack here, and I want you to come to a shin box position. This is where you have your foot up against your thigh and your shins are kind of making a box, about 2 sides of the box. Now you're going to windshield wiper your knees to the other side while keeping your feet and your hips anchored and keeping really upright. Now you're going to go to the other side. You can see I'm shifting my feet a little bit to help stay in place. This takes a lot of hip mobility, but it is a great hip warm-up. Now, if you can't do it with the weight, you can put your hands behind you and do it unloaded. But we're going to go back and forth in that shin box about 4 times in each direction. So now, once we come back to our original side, what I want you to do is use your glutes to lift yourself up, keeping those toes untucked and pressing your hips through for full hip extension and glute activation. Now the other side, push your hips through, good. And again, about 4 times on each side. You might notice you start to walk forward a little bit. That is normal. You can try to do this with your feet starting up against the couch or a wall in order to keep yourself from moving, but feel free just to do it freestanding and wiggle where you may. All right, So about 4 times in each direction. We're gonna put this down and we are just gonna do a quick little single leg warm up because there is a big single leg component to the whole complex once we put it together. So here I'm gonna put one foot in front of the other. I wanna be about 2 of my feet's distance apart. So wherever, figure out where your toes started, take 2 steps back, and then put that foot back where it started. Now, come up on the tiptoes, big exhale. Tailbone to the floor, ribs down, arms out in front of you, and you are going to sink down here as low as you can and hold. You notice here I'm staying very upright. We're gonna hold for about 30 seconds. I don't have my timer going, so it's gonna be whatever my perception of 30 seconds is if you're following along with me. But stay up on those tiptoes, sink down nice and upright. Try not to lean forward. We're not leaning on the leg. I am intentionally holding my arms out because it activates the upper back a little bit. I'm not reaching forward. I'm pulling those arms in and down, sinking down. Remind yourself, go down. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and stand up. Other foot goes in front. Come up on those tiptoes, sink down and hold and breathe. You notice my legs start to shake a little bit. The second side's harder because both legs worked. Now they're just switching places and they're both working again. Again, sink down as deep as you can. The closer together your feet are, the harder this one is. That back thigh is gonna feel it really quickly. Keep holding. Got about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up. Good. Now we've warmed up the legs and the glutes. Time to take it to the upper body. Luckily for you, our upper body activation actually is just part of our workout. So what we're going to be doing is a Turkish get-up where we press at each point on the way up. So if you don't know how to do a Turkish get-up already, let's put a pin in this, check out the Turkish get-up video, and maybe return back to this once you've mastered the Turkish get-up. But assuming you do know how to do it, what we're going to be doing, and I'm gonna just do it without any weight to mime for you here. We start on the floor, right? In our firing range position. You're going to press once on the floor, roll up to the elbow, press once on the elbow, roll up to the hand, press once on the hand, sweep the leg through, press once in the tripod position, lift the arm up, close the leg, press here, and stand, press here. Now the weight lives up as I go down. And then you'll repeat it on the other side. The big thing you want to be aware of is that you are bringing the kettlebell or bringing your elbow to your waist with each and every rep. So here we are in our starting position. Elbow comes down. Doesn't have to come to the waist on that very first one, but now on our elbow down here, elbow comes to the waist. I'm watching that bell the whole time. Elbow to the waist. Elbow to the waist. Elbow to the waist. One more, elbow to the waist. And then we come down without pressing. And put your bell down. I didn't leave myself enough room, but try to roll back to fetal position when you put it down. So we are gonna go ahead and do that 3 times on each side. And this is really gonna warm up our upper body for the pressing that happens in the Viking salute, which as you saw is the portion of the movement where you're in a tall kneeling position and pressing. So let's grab that bell on the right side. Start in fetal position, roll onto your back, press the weight up, lock the arm bone into the socket. Opposite arm and leg are out at 45 degrees. Now roll yourself to the elbow. Press here. Come up to your hand. Watching the bell, press, bring the elbow to the ribs. Sweep the leg under. Press here, elbow to the ribs. Sit back, come up, close the leg. Elbow to the ribs. Stand up, elbow to the ribs, and now back down. Now 3 times per side, but alternating sides. So let's halo that bell around to the other side. And on here, roll to our backs. Kettlebell up in firing range. Roll to the elbow. Press. Come to the hand. Press. Sweep the leg under. Press. Come up. Close the leg. And press. Come to standing. Press. Now we go back. Reverse lunge. Open. Reach for the floor. Sweep the leg through. Roll back. Bring the bell down. I am just going to switch myself around so I'm not running into this wall, but we are going to be doing the right side again. So start in fetal position. Roll to your back. I recognize the first time we did this, I missed out on the pressing on the floor, so we'll get it this time. Press on the floor. Come to your elbow. Press on the elbow. Come to the hand. Make sure you keep that wrist nice and straight. Press. Sweep the leg through. Press. Come up. Close the leg. Press. Come to standing. Press. Bring it back down. You will notice on the second side it has started to build. And that is normal. So we'll come to the other side. Starting on the floor. That press I forgot the first time. Press on the floor. Roll up to your elbow and press. Come to your hand and press. Sweep the leg under. Press. Come up, close the leg. Press. Stand. Press. Reverse lunge. Open the leg. Run the hand down the thigh. Hinge, come down. Sweep the leg through and roll back. Bring it down. One more time on the first side for 3 in total. And in case you're not sure what weight to pick, I would pick the weight you'd want to do this entire complex with, staying fairly light, especially at first. So press, roll up to the elbow, press, come to the hand, press, sweep the leg under, press, lift up, close the leg, press, come to standing, press, come down, open the leg, hinge those hips back to bring your hand to the floor. Don't just reach. Sweep the leg through, roll back, halo the bell around you. Second side, last time. Roll to your back, press on your back, come to the elbow and press, come to the hand and press, sweep the leg under, press, come up, close the leg, press. This is that one you're going to be doing in your complex. Now stand and press and all the way back down. Roll to fetal position to deposit that bell on the floor next to you. Awesome job. Take a second. We are going to be moving on to our dead stop lunges now, which is in fact a big part of this whole complex. So keep the same bell and let's get into those dead stop lunges. For our next set, we are going to do dead stop lunges and kneeling shoulder presses. So if you have really sensitive knees, feel free to grab a pillow or a foam pad to put underneath that knee that's down, because we are going to be working on and off that knee a lot. And while I hope your knees don't experience any pain, sometimes just being on a hard surface is going to cause that discomfort. So what we're going to do is first do dead stop lunges. You can do these loaded or unloaded depending on your tolerance for them, but what you do is you start on the floor in the dead stop position. Dead stop usually means you've released to the floor, you've completely come to a true dead stop. So my back knee is underneath my hip, my front foot is underneath my front knee. I have these two nice 90-degree angles. And then I use my back leg to help push me up, but I'm really using the top glute to come up to a total standing position. And then reverse it back to standing. So when you do this full movement with the reverse lunge, then you do your press, and then you stand back up. You are hauling yourself up from a dead stop lunge. So here we're gonna go 10 times on each side. So I've got about 5 more now. Arms are in front of me, trying to stay balanced, really keep that big toe grounded on the front leg. 1 more, and then you'll wanna push your mat over a little bit if you're using one. And we'll start from the floor again. Starting at the floor lets you make sure you're nice and aligned properly. 10 times. And you see here, I'm staying pretty upright. So one of the things we commonly see is people really leaning forward and kind of scooping up or pressing up on the leg. If you have to do that, then you're not going to be able to get up with that weight overhead. But you just did the Turkish get-up. So we're assuming here that you can. But sometimes when that weight's overhead, it does really force you to stay upright. So we've got about 3 more on this leg. Really isolate the glute on the top leg to help haul you up. And relax. All right, now still with that lighter weight, we are going to do a tall kneeling shoulder press. When you go to do a press from a half kneeling position, you can press on the side that has the knee down or up. There isn't really a right or wrong way to do it, just each exercise is gonna be a little bit different. Now with our Turkish get-up presses, you practice kneeling or pressing on the leg that was up. Because remember, when we come from the top of the Turkish get-up, the leg opposite the kettlebell goes back, and then we press here. So we were getting practice moving with the bell overhead. However, we are going to switch to pressing on the other side, because when we do the full complex, we do all of our hang cleans, then we get the bell up overhead, and then that leg that we were using is the one that goes back, and we press from here. So here you're going to clean the bell up. And now I want you to really work on keeping your ribs down. Pull the ribs down, brace the core. Press the front leg into the floor. Inhale, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. We're going for 5 to 10, depending on the weight you picked and how many reps you can get out. I can't really tell you you have to do a certain number of overhead presses, because if you're using an appropriate weight, you will hit a ceiling. Good. Then you'll put the bell down, switch the pad over to the other side if you were using it. I especially like the pad while you're practicing the movement patterns, because you wouldn't really be able to use it when you're doing the whole flow together. So just give your knees a little break when you can afford to. And now again, second side. You want to make sure you're not leaning into the hip that is up, that you're not leaning to the side the bell's on. Squeeze both glutes, squeeze the arm that's not working, pull the ribs down and back as you press. Inhale down, exhale up. Good. Put her down. For our next round of dead stop lunges, we are going to practice doing them with the weight overhead, moving on the same side that you will ultimately move for your get-ups. For your full complex. So when I do the full complex, I'm going to do my hang cleans, right? All on the left leg. The weight goes up from here, and then I take a step back. So if the weight's up, the leg on the same side is moving. Now this is less stable than moving, keeping the leg under the weight and moving that. So again, this is more advanced for that reason. So we're going to clean the weight up. I want you to go for 5 to 8 here. We don't want to waste our overhead strength completely, but you do want to pull that arm down. Keep the ribs down. Keep the whole body on. 5 to 8. It's a little different than when you're doing the Turkish get-up. We usually would have the weight on the opposite side in the get-up. Really using that up leg glute to pull yourself up. Good. And now switch to the other side. So when you clean from a kneeling position, you kind of want to hinge down, And then you do have to use a lot of arm strength to clean it up because obviously you don't have the same leverage you do from standing. So press the bell up, 5 to 8 on the second side. Good. Pull the bell down, unravel it, put it down, and we are going to do another set of overhead presses. You will come down. Again, you can see a little better on this side. Clean the bell up. Ribs down, both glutes on. Keep your hips tracking forward and make sure you're not popping out to one side. 5 to 8. 5 to 10 rather, but probably closer to 8. Remember, you're reserving enough energy to do the final complex. Other side, 5 to 10, hopefully somewhere around 8. Pull the ribs down, squeeze the glutes. Whole body has tension in it. Inhale down, exhale up. Good. Put your bell down. All right, so we just worked our way through pretty much everything involved in the Viking salute, aside from cleaning the bell up, which we practiced tons during the last workout with the hang clean, and snatching it up overhead. But today I'm going to put a pin in snatching. That's a whole other conversation. If you can snatch, I'll show you the snatch variation, but you can always press or push press your weight up overhead. We are assuming you know how to get the weight from the clean to the overhead position. That we're not really harping on too much today. We did work a lot on actually moving it from the tall kneeling or the half kneeling position. But as far as standing, cleaning, and getting the bell up there, I know you've got this. So now we are going to move on to talking about the swing. I assume you know how to do the swing, and you probably know how to do the single arm swing, but let's just talk about it, and we'll talk about transitioning from a front rack position into a swing. Something you've probably done many times, but it is an important part of this complex. So now would be the time to go ahead and grab a slightly heavier weight, because your swing weight, especially since we're calling this a whole workout, is absolutely going to be heavier than the weight you'd pick for this whole complex. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. I've been using an 8 kilogram for my demonstration bell. I'm going to bump it up to a 12 kilogram to demonstrate. Now keep in mind, if I were to do this complex, and if I were doing this as a workout, I probably would have started with a 12 kilogram and worked up to a 14 or 16 for these single arm swings and back to the 12 for the full complex. But I need to be able to talk and move at the same time. So when we do a single arm swing, we need to make sure that both sides of the body are moving in unison. We don't want to get into a place where the arm that's swinging is pulling out of the socket and my torso is twisting and my hips are opening up. You don't want to end up being like this at the top of your swing and at the bottom of the swing. You want to make sure that things are truly thrusting forward together. So during these practice swings, I want you to pay close attention to that. We're going to do a few things here. We're going to first start by just practicing swinging. Then we're going to practice switching our hands when swinging, because that is how you transition from one side to the other in this complex. And then we are going to go from the clean into the swing, because you have to know how to do that as well. So round one, we're just swinging. You're going to start your foot's distance away from the bell. So you see here, I line 2 feet up, and then get about the inside of the foot lined up with the outside of the hips, whatever your swing position is. For me, it's about having my toes on the outside of the mat. Now I want you to position that bell just slightly to the center, to the side of the midline, kind of get it where you want it to end up being. Now, big exhale. We're gonna do this together. Brace the core, keep the ribs going towards the hips, shift the hips back, grab onto that bell. You can really grab towards the middle, sit back, and now lock the arm bone into the socket. You can see here, I twist, and now I'm all squared up. My non-working arm is clenched in by my chest. Inhale, and I hike the bell, and then exhale and project, and we're gonna do 10 swings on each side. Inhale, hike, exhale. Thrust with both hips at the same time. One more, and park it. Good. Now switch it over to the other side. Give it a little walk over. Sit those hips back. Lock the arm bone into the socket. Core is on. When you inhale, hike, exhale, project. So inhale, 10 times. And park it. Awesome. So that is how you do a single arm swing. Now we're going to talk about handing off the bell. If you're going to do a single arm swing in a complex where you eventually want to hand off the bell, you will need to have your hand on one side or the other. Usually with these complexes, our hand ends up migrating over to the side that it's on anyways. So when we switch off for our swings, we do so at the weightless point in the air. So if my hand is on the left side of the handle, I'm just gonna grab the right side in that weightless moment, and now it's over here. But what happens if for some reason you're holding the right side of the handle? Then you need to rotate the bell at the top so your palm faces up and you grab the bell to hand it off. Because if your palm's facing down or over here, you can't rotate it the other way. So I'll show you both ways. What we're going to do is 2 swings and then hand off. So I want you to start by grabbing the bell on the left side in the left hand. Inhale, hike, exhale, project, 2 swings, and then switch off. 1, 2, switch. 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 Last one. 1, 2, and park it. Now, let's see what happens if for some reason your hand ends up on the inside of the bell. So I want you to grab the inside of the bell. So left hand, right side of the bell, and go into a swing. And then when I say rotate your palm upward, so you're gonna turn your hand from right to left. And ready, set, hike, project, 2, and twist the hand. 1, 2, hand it off. Now it's easy. Your hand's in the right place. Keep going, hand it off. Hand it off. Hand it off. We'll do one more hand off. And relax. So one more time, just for good measure. Let's practice starting on the other side. Right hand to the left handle of the bell. And after 2 swings, what I want you to do is now turn your hand from left to right in the air, just like I did here, but you're going to be doing it at the top of the swing in the air. And then you can go ahead and grab the bell and you'll be positioned. So inhale, exhale, 1, 2, rotate. 1, 2, and park it. You can always grab onto the bell with both hands if you feel like you're going to lose control when you park it. All right, now I'm going to show you how to go from having it racked to swinging it. First watch, and then we'll break it down and do it together. Okay, so what happened? The kettlebell gets cleaned, but then it needs to go down between the legs like I'm going to do another swing clean, but instead I need to put a lot of momentum behind it. So your arm has to be very intentional and active here. What I'm going to do is start to let the belt fall and then really push it between my legs, and instead of pulling it back up, I'm just straightening my arm and letting it fly. And that first rep might be a little weird, but that's okay. So clean your bells up with me. And then at the same time, we're gonna let it fall and swing, and going to another swing, and another swing. And now hand it off however you need to. All right? Now let's do that again on the other side. Clean it up, go into 3 swings, hand it off, 3 swings on the other side. Hinge back, hike, clean. Now let it fall. 1, 2, 3, hand off. 1, 2, 3. If when you go to hand it off, your hand is really squarely in the middle, you're going to have to come in on the side and jump over. It's just something you'll get better at with practice. Now we are going to do a clean, a swing into a switch swing and clean, because that is what you're going to have to do in the complex. So you're going to clean the bell, throw it into a swing, hand off at the top of that swing and go into the next one. If when you're doing the complex, you don't feel comfortable at the first swing, do a second one, but let's try this here. Hinge back, lock the arm bone into the socket, square everything off, clean. Now swing and switch at the top and clean. Now let's go to the other side. Swing, hand it off, clean. 2 more times, 1 in each direction. Swing, hand, clean. Swing, hand it off, clean. Nice. And put her down. If you're not feeling comfortable with that yet, go ahead and do it for 2 or 3 more rounds. But if not, we are ready to move on to putting the whole thing together and really doing that as the cardio challenge of your workout. I'm going to demonstrate putting this all together on one side, then we'll switch sides and go into it together. So what this whole complex is going to be is 5 hang cleans into forward lunges. Now, if that forward lunge is truly outside of what you're capable of doing, skip it, or do a Bosch clean where you land with your foot up on the bench. But today I'm just going to demonstrate with that forward lunge. I'll show some other versions as we go. So 5 hang cleans to forward lunges, then you're going to do 3 Viking salutes, and then 5 single arm swings, switching hands and going into the entire thing on the other side. So let's grab a kettlebell, or I'm going to grab a kettlebell. Again, this is just for you to see what we're doing. I've picked a very lightweight so I can talk through it. But we go from our hanging deadlift position, clean forward lunge, actually a little far forward, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to clean and press, or you could snatch, and then the leg on the same side as the bell goes back, press and stand. 1, clean and press. Feet come together, step back, press. 2, clean, press, feet come together, leg under the bell goes back. 3, now we come down right into those 5 swings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hand her off. I would have cleaned it up, but that was just the demo round. So now I'm going to guide you through this, but if you want an extra challenge, set a 5, 6, 7, or 8 minute timer and do it on your own, going side to side for that full time. Here I am going to hand it off, and we're not really going to stop side to side, but if you want that real challenge, you're going to set the timer and you're going to do it for a time set. Maybe try one with me and then set the 5 minute timer. Next time, maybe you don't have to do all the prep work. You don't have to, prepare for the workout quite like we did here. You can put this into the end of another workout and you can set a timer and do it for as many times as you can in that amount of time. And I'm going to face the other direction so you can see the side that I'm starting on really well. And we are going to go into it. So you're going to get a fairly light weight. Start in a kickstand deadlift and pick up the weight. Now you're going to lower down into the hang cleaning starting position, clean it up and lunge forward. Stand up. Another one. 2. 3. Remember that non-working arm needs to do something. Mimic the working arm. 4. One more. 5. Stand up. Clean and press or snatch the bell up. Leg underneath the bell goes back. Press. 1. Stand up. Bring the bell down. Clean and press or snatch. 2. Keep those ribs down. Stand up. Clean and press. 3. Bring it down. Stand up. Now, 5 swings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hand off the bell. Clean her up. Now, you're going to get ready for that single leg hang clean. So, leg on the same side as the bell goes back. Come to the hanging position. 1. Make sure you're far enough back from what's in front of you. 2. 3. Remember, the non-working arm wants to be involved. It improved when it got involved. 4. One more. 5. Stand up. Clean and press. Leg on the same side as the bell goes back. 1. Bring her down. Clean, press. 2. Don't let that lower back arch and extend. 1 more. 3. These overhead presses build. Now pull it down. 5 swings. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to switch off after 5. 4, 5, and switch. Clean. Now you can rest here for a second if you need. But we'll be going into another set of single leg hang cleans. Leg on the same side as the bell goes back. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more. 5. Good. Now, clean, press, leg on the same side as the bell goes back, and press. If the standing presses or the kneeling presses are getting too much, you can push press it up to save energy for that kneeling press. 2. 1 more. 3. Stand up. Let's go down into swings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hand her off and clean. Okay. Now during this next round, I'm going to show it to you with snatching the bell up. If you know how to snatch, snatching is less overhead energy than pressing. So it conserves energy for your kneeling presses and ultimately would let you do this heavier. So we are going to be going into our second side, second round, meaning we have 3, sides in total left. We're halfway through. So let's go. Leg on the same side as the bell back. Clean and forward. Stand up. 2. As soon as I remember to involve that non-working arm, my balance improves. 3, 4, 5. Whew. Watch out for that leg, making sure it totally swings. Now I'm going to show you the snatch version. Clean and press or snatch. Leg under the bell goes back. 1. Stand up. 2. 3. And now you go snatch to swing 5 times, gearing up for the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hand off. And I'm going to keep with the snatching for this demo now. Side. 1. Use that arm on the other side. 2, 3, 4. Be in control on that single leg movement. 5, Now again, I'm going to snatch. 1. Leg on the same side goes down and press. Oh, we want to snatch down if we're snatching. 2. You can also clean, down clean into the snatch. And final 1. 5 swings, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And then one more time on this side. Leg on the same side as the bell goes back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then snatch it up. Leg on the same side goes back. Ribs stay down as you press. 2. And 3. Good. Final 5 swings. Down snatch into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and park it. Awesome work. That was fantastic. Super sweaty, super cardio intensive. If you just tried that alongside me and felt like you could keep going, feel free to do 3 more on each side for either 2 or 3 rounds total. Or if you've had enough of the overhead action but you do want to keep going, you can always be push pressing the weight up instead of strict press, or snatching a push press, less effort than a shoulder press, also snatch less effort than a shoulder press. And if you just wanted to finish off with a little more cardio, you could set a 5-minute timer, and each minute do 20 swings, whether it's 20 swings with both hands on the bell or 10 single arm on each side. Wrap out that 5-minute timer for 100 swings total. You will feel like you truly got that extra cardio burst at the end of this session. And if you enjoyed today, make sure you sign up for the She Beast Power Program waiting list. We're going to be dropping that program at the end of February, and you do not want to miss this one. It's the first time I'm doing a publicly open group program with more advanced programming. I always have an advanced group that my She Beast members can graduate into, and I have plenty of women who are in that and thriving. But this is the first time where I'm opening it up to anyone, whether or not you did She Beast before. So just jump on that wait list. It's called She Beast, but I am opening it up to men this time because there's an assumption that you know what you're doing and you're already comfortable with kettlebells. So the reason She Beast Bells and Bodyweight, the beginner program, is just for women is because we're still learning, we're becoming comfortable with bells, comfortable with our bodies, and comfortable exercising. And that's an environment where I really want to stay protective and keep us a little insulated from the outside world. But everyone's kind of knows what they're doing at this point. So we can all come together and everyone is welcome. Sign up for that wait list and you'll be the first to find out and the first to get a discount. Have a super strong day.